Hello Total War gamers, my name is Deacon and welcome to this new Total War Warhammer Argwylon campaign. And I play Warhammer with 72 mods slapped onto it, so I'm gonna first review all these mods that we have. First is the advanced IA mod, and this really does a ton of things. It changes recruitment, budget management, the IA personalities, diplomacy, strategic IA on the campaign map. The character skill selection is now more sensible. There's an improved battle IA. The chaos invasion starts 10 to 15 turns later. There will be one less spawn in the first invasion, but one more in the second invasion. And the army compositions are improved, so they will be more balanced and challenging. Now, the greenskins are buffed in terms of the war with the dwarves in IA when you don't play as the dwarves yourself. And the IA is now no longer avoiding the player. So some cheats have been removed that the IA used to have, like but without touching on the IA Confederation bonus. So this is a very major mod because it really changes a lot. Now this is just a cosmetic mod. Another important one is that the elite units for the elves when playing as Argwylon or vice versa, they no longer cost amber. And I've disabled that because in practice, if they would cost me amber, I probably would never recruit them, and I just found it too much of a pain to not have them in campaign. Gyrocopters are now recruitable earlier, in an earlier tier. Alliances, when you do not join a war with an ally, it's no longer automatically that you lose the alliance. You have the option to either break or not. Empire captains are now recruited with a higher rank. These things aren't really relevant for us right now as we're playing as Argwylon. This is also a cosmetic mod. This is cosmetic. Great cannons now have anti-large, not relevant for us, cosmetic. These are now the color scheme for the Wood Elves, Telsin, a rename for the faction. The tactician's skill for the dwarves, Thunderers, wasn't being applied, now it's correctly being applied, which is a fix. We have a simple rename mod, beast battle maps, the beastmen ambushes. They weren't very fun to play. It's like the underground, but it's no real challenge there, and it was very heavy on the graphics. This is our color scheme playing as Argwylon. Durthu now has also the regular treatment skills. 70's realistic flight increases the flight speed and the impact of charges. Increases cost of flying units if I'm correct. What does it do? Increases speed, acceleration and turning speed. Flight's more smooth and realistic. And smaller units fly faster than the larger ones. Charge speed increased dramatically, so they have this impact. And it doesn't say anything of the downsides of this. But this is just for more cinematic charges from the flying units, which I thought was nice. Then there's this 10% home region movement bonus, which I think is smart. This changes the unit markers on the map. This is a cosmetic mod that changes the appearance of the regiments of renown. This slightly buffs the dragons in game for all the factions that do have dragons. This adds outriders with blunderbuss to the empire. This mod makes Grombrindle unbreakable. This one is cosmetic and gives quivers to the Bretonnian archers. This adds a breath weapon to the dragons. Doesn't really affect the gameplay all that much. It's just a nice little addition. This increases the name pool for the Empire factions. This is a little mod that increases the loot chance of after battle to 100%. So you have more chance of gaining items or followers, which is fun because usually once you have a bunch of characters, agents, generals walking around, the majority of them would hardly have any equipment on them. So this gives more to play with. Same applies to the IA, so I guess it evens out in terms of difficulty. This adds names for Bretonnian characters. Change to the banner for the dwarves. Here is the Waywatcher ability fix that correctly applies Hawk's Finesse, which means that the increase of the rate of fire will increase once enemy units get closer. This is an addition of a unit to the Bretonnian roster. I used to love it very much in the tabletop version of the game. I have like a 10,000 points worth of Bretonnian units still in a box ready to be painted, and I've had it since I'm 41 years old now, and I've had it since I was a teenager, or a part of it. I've expanded this collection. I just never got around to painting it, but I think Bretonnia for painting is awesome, as are the dwarves and the wood elves and the high elves. I just don't own any of their units. This gives more lore accurate names for the wood elves, just to add some diversity. Here's a fix to the buff applied to a couple of turns, 5 turns in fact. Otherwise it would only have been 1 turn that you get this buff once you kill the captives. It's what I usually do, so it applies the leadership buff for 5 turns. Once you confederate, this mod enables the missions for the legendary lords for their equipment and so on. So once, and especially as the elves, this is fun because we get to put on also the legendary equipment on Orion. This thingy removes the extra upkeep for I think the dwarves and the empire. Doesn't affect us, and hopefully it could work to our advantage if they become a little bit stronger thanks to this, because we're gonna look to ally ourselves with both the empire and the dwarves, also Bretonnia, but Bretonnia doesn't have that mechanic. Then this is a rename of the empire offices that are more lore friendly. So the Archlector is now the Grand Theogenist, the Patriarch is the Supreme Patriarch, and so on. This adds realistic climate to the battles, which is also fairly cosmetic change. This is a user interface change that lights up the unit cards a little bit more harshly, so it's more easy to see which units you have selected. This is a cosmetic change that gives some more contrast in different weather circumstances. This is an increase of the steed size of Chaos by Kataf. This adds custom battle maps to all the major factions. Here Waystalkers also get the melee tree, although I never spec into it, but it gives them a little bit extra points to spend once you have completely maxed out all your regular skills. This changes the color scheme of the Demigryph Knights to red, which I think is far more friendly to the eyes. This increases the visibility of the border lines on the map, which I think was a very good addition. This changes the look of elven settlements, lookouts throughout the map, which is a nice addition. This removes the unit LED, and I really like it a lot better, rather than the faraway units suddenly becoming black and shady or grayed out sort of. This adds forest mists to the Wood Elves areas as just also a cosmetic change to the campaign. Wood Elf skill unlock. This means that the same generals can spec into both ranged and melee. You will still specialize regardless, but it's just fun to have choice, I think. This changes the crumbling effect to a more cooler effect, I think. Here are some other campaign graphics improvements. This puts the Fey Enchantress on foot and gives her a sword in hand rather than floating around all the time. I hated that effect, so I'm all in favor of this mod. This changes the look of Elbrick to a more battle-hardened veteran commander. Also a new skin for Leon Coeur. As you can see, he's now this is the before, this is the after situation. So he has this fleur de lis, the French flower, on his not on his armor, the tunic. This increases font size, should be make things easier for viewers to read along with all the text. This gives unique colors to the different steam tanks and different factions, so that's a fun thing. I do like dust, smoke, fire, all those things. Better, thicker smoke mod. I have better, thicker smoke mod enabled as well. So I like my battlefields to be messy. Here is the a famous one, the total unit resize, which is a lore-friendly resize of most of the units. 39k subscribers and created by Daylin. And this is about height of the units, not about the number of units in the unit itself, the number of soldiers in the unit. This once you summon the Green Knight, he's going to stay on board. I thought him to be far too iconic to lose halfway campaign, so that's fixed that. Similar mods are around for Krell, but I don't care about Krell because I only play as the good factions in this game, like in Total War. This is Olympian camera. Well, it's just like a must-have. I think everyone has it. Improved loading screens, dark water. I really prefer this touch. This is Prometheus skill points renewed, is a relevant one because what does it do? It basically adds skill points when you level up your lords and legendary lords. So they get double the points from level 10 and on, and non-lord characters get double skill points every 5 levels. So this is has less of an impact, but this one does. It also applies to the IA, so the lords, legendary lords, will be more difficult to face, and if you're turtling, well, this is going to adversely affect your campaign, because if you have only 1 or 2 characters that are leveling, then this actually works to your disadvantage. It's just that I like how it plays out. Building progression icons changes the building buttons depending on their tier, which I think is very nice. This is a better battle camera. These are all reskins of Bretonnian characters. This adds Gotrek and Felix to either the Empire or the Dwarves. And those are the mods. Now I have 28 games. The majority of them are either Baldur's Gate, Star Wars, or Mountain Blade, or Total War related. So I have like 440 hours in this game so far, and well, let's get it started. I'm gonna skip the game intro, but I will let the faction intro play out. So here's the load screen, and we're just gonna skip all of this. We're going into a new campaign in the old world as Argwylon. Initial challenge is hard, and with the advanced IA, the mod that we slapped on is gonna make this even harder. Now this debuff doesn't apply, this limitation, but we'll be using a lot of the forest units because they're cheaper. Because that's what Durthu does. Recruitment cost is minus 50%. But eventually we're also going to rely on archery, and but we'll just enjoy Durthu smacking and slamming through his enemies.
The Azure have always hidden themselves away from the world. But that is no longer a luxury they can afford. This is why the spell singers have sent for me. The world roots begin to rot, and enemies enemies prowl the sacred groves. Athelloren is in peril if the Wood Elves do not act. Summer is long gone. Now is the season of war. All trespassers will quickly learn the wrath of the Fae. Even the spirits of the wood have been roused to war. A young prince, chosen to take the mantle of the ages. The king in the wood, reborn. Now is the time to show who the true hunters of the wild are.
Cool sound of the horn also in the game when you do battles. In times past, Durthu bound the forest spirits of Athelloren with those of the Wood Elves, and for a while he considered the alliance to be a positive force, but that was before the great swaths of the forest were cut down, before the Elves invited calamity to befall Athelloren, and now Durthu's wrath is great.
Hail to you, Durthu, eldest of the ancients. I come to offer assistance in these dark times, to help you exact revenge on the enemies of Athelloren. To the north, the Bretonnians lie in wait. We must tread carefully, for their expansionist desires are well known, yet they could be firm allies against other foes. Furthermore, greenskin incursions are increasing, defiling the sanctity of the forests with their filth. The only answer is war. Move against their mountain hovels and end their sorry sorties into your lands. To the west, the beastmen herds are massing. These cloven beasts will desecrate everything, including your sacred woodlands.
They are nasty.
Stopped by force of arms.
They
You
can
must
suddenly
learn
appear
to
and
take the
take the
hunt.
Oak of Ages.
The taint of chaos must not despoil the king's glade. Though the men of the lowlands know the price of intrusion, they still trespass upon your hallowed groves. No more. Drive them from the forest's edge. Age has made you twisted and furious, father of the forest. But this rage makes you mighty. Go now. Smite the unworthy. Defend Athelloren.
Well, here we are at Waterfall Palace. I have a little tendency of renaming stuff. Generals, agents, characters, and also settlements. But at the same time, I like to keep things a little bit lawful, as always. So the same applies here. So from time to time I might decide that a name change is relevant. Now this hero is not yet deployed, but when we do, it increases public order. So we'll increase public order. We'll move Durthu into Waterfall Palace. That we'll rename, oops, Moon Spring Glades. And Katra we are going to rename Draka, which is just a more lawful name for the branch wraith. And then to construction, let's see, we are going to need growth and income. So the grapevines are the standard income or the standard revenue building, and nor can we do without recruits of dryads in particular. We are in the green. We're on a plus of 651. We have a reserve of 3 amber, which is nice because we will eventually want to level up our settlements, and then that little extra bit of amber comes in nice. Diplomacy wise, we are going to look to ally ourselves with all the good guys, and we don't mind to be at war with all the bad guys basically. Orion now is okay with a non-aggression pact. Well, this is something to do, I think, with join war against a Jagged Horn tribe. Yeah, I don't mind that if you also give me a non-aggression pact then. Trade agreement maybe. Well, can always try the withdraw first, non-aggression rejected. Trade agreement and a non-aggression? No. They already hate our guts. No. So this isn't going to work. Let's see if the attitude is improving. So eventually we may become better friends. Just give it some time. Kill a few of the baddies that they don't like, and that should do. For example, the Jagged Horn tribe, or the Red Horns, or the Bray Herd of the One Eye. Who else is at war with these guys? They aren't at war with anyone, so why did they want us to go to war with those guys? The only thing, I don't want to be at war with Carcassonne, because eventually I want all of Bretonnia as allies. Same goes for the dwarves and for the Empire. Because they generally tend to grow, and if we can have alliances with them, it produces a lot of amber, and well, that's always a good thing when playing as the elves. So much for diplomacy. Then where conquests are concerned, we're gonna try and conquer this area over here as first expansion, and then maybe jump over to this area and take over some ports there, because then we can have naval trade. There are some tax that would really help us with this. Income from ports plus 400%. It's not going to be much of a boon to us now, because I'm not interested in taking over Bretonnia. They need our support. We will confederate, and first of all we'd like to confederate with Orion, as he is a legendary lord, and I want to spec him the way that I'd like to spec him. So the other guys are just normal lords, and I don't care too much about them. Now, we aren't at war yet with the Crooked Moon, but we will be soon. Hopefully they can thin out either Brock Ironpick, which we are already at war with, or one of the garrisons of the different settlements over there. So these guys, I don't mind if we kill them off. It's the actual Karazankor faction that I'm worried about, or care to ally ourselves to. So first we need some construction and some recruitment. There are these new units of renown, first of which we will unlock at level 3. For now we can have some Glade Guards. There's 1 archer unit. We have 4 melee units. So the primary objective, or the primary need that we have now is Elves, Glade Guard. They cost the same in upkeep. According to the information about Durthu, is that these guys should have half the construction cost. So don't know how it works out, because it appears to be costing the same as the Glade Guard over here, so it's a bit odd. Then we will want to have some other lords, so we can unlock these roles. We also need buildings for that, so it'll be a while before we need any of them. And what you can do is hire a 3-man, put them in that position, receive the buffs, and then disband him, so he goes into the pool. Alright, that should be it for turn 1. We can't recruit any agents yet, or heroes I mean, so that's not gonna happen. We have to keep an eye on the 3-men. 12% plus range is a very nice one to have. So we are going to hire this ancient 3-man already. And what does it do to our income? Quite a bit actually. So we may have to get rid of him later. But for now we are going to name him Mossback and move him towards the Oak of Ages, because once we get attacked there we are going to need at least a lord in there to buff up the garrison. So I think we're set for now. If we're going to jump across to the underway, then maybe Mossback is going to stay here and defend our capital, but it all depends on what Crooked Moon is going to do. So let's end our turn here. We are at war with the Jagged Horn tribe already, it appears. Who are we at war with? With Brock, Iron Pig, and all these guys. Same as the Wood Elves. So, what changed or happened? Because I thought somebody wanted us to declare war on this faction while we're actually already at war with them. So this is odd, strange. Anyway, we are in the negative and we are gonna lose money. So Mossback, he's nice to have because he has this Talon of Kurnus ability. And whenever generals with those abilities come around, I had hired them and then recruit them back into the campaign at a later stage. So for now he will simply have to go. Sorry Mossback, but you'll be back, you know. Now now we're making money, and it's gonna be a few turns till we can have how many turns till we reach another surplus point? 20 turns. That's gonna be a long time. I don't know. No, plus 20? 4 turns until surplus point. So there's gonna be another 4 turns, and then we have 1 surplus, which is all that this upgrade requires, I think. So we will spend this amber and that one too, because it gives us extra building slots, and right now we really need those. We are spending money, but we can recruit some more before we grow negative again. We have 2 archer units, which I think is just enough for now. Let's recruit some more dryads and see if we can make friends with our elven buddies now. You are strength rank 8 and me is strength rank 2. I mean, you should be begging me for a non-aggression. I'm so much stronger than you are. They've accepted, and now I'd like to trade with you. But they aren't going for it. Anyone who likes us, they do, but not enough to do anything. But they're gonna, Vidrioth is gonna appreciate our new relations with Torgavon and should improve faster. This great power. nonsense. But anyway, let's just continue and see what happens. We will have one more unit. Once we get trade going with Findle, then things should turn out alright for us. Construction completed, grapevines, unit recruited, dryads. And we are not content yet. We are plus 899, we just don't have the money to recruit anything yet. But I want a bigger army. These guys are also... first, they're in Carricknor, which is their province capital. They have a garrison and then half a stack here. So if Crooked Moon doesn't whittle them down, it's just simply too early still for us to jump in. Which turn are we in? Turn 2, turn 3. So another chance to gain a non-aggression with Withergoth. Hello, Findle. Are you still rejecting me? The bastard. Okay, now let's wait some more. Nothing we can recruit now. We should be able to pay for those dryads. Minus 50% recruitment cost is what it said. Strange. Now, where are those beastmen? I don't see him. Paravon really doesn't like us, so we should maybe find one of those texts that gives us improved relations with the Bretonnians. Anyway, as long as we have units here, they won't attack us so soon. I really can't make sense of whatever it is that he's saying. We're in turn 4, so we're gonna just keep trying until we can get north aggression. They are now strength rank 3 and we are 10. What happened? Did I lose units? No. Did he recruit like mad? Maybe. No. Our tax should complete now. The research. Look. Crooked Moon is mobilizing. Which way to go? Recruitment costs, charge bonus, income. Charge bonus isn't really all that much. Elf infantry. Ammunition. This way is for the Bretonnian faction. I want to make peace with, or be at peace, trade relations with Bretonnians. And construct the building thingy that lets us trade with other factions. But we need to upgrade our settlement first, which is on the next turn. And then even still, I don't think we can build it until we are tier 3, is it? Yeah, these are all in the tier 3. This... Yeah, so this is quite a bit away, but I think we should be fine financially eventually. We have 4 archers now, 5 archers, I mean, that's enough really. So for the rest, we're just gonna fill up our ranks with more dryads. Circle around, flank attacks, all that kind of thing. Draika should also join us in our army here. If we're going to be away for a while, it's nice to have public order up to around to close to 100, because it's probably going to decrease once Draika and the army move out, and that of course could hurt us quite a bit. One other look. How do you guys like us now? It's just slightly improving, but not by much. Non-aggression is what I could possibly want. Nope. Alright, bye then. Well, 2 armies of Carricknorn walking around right now. Crooked Moon is not doing its job, at least not properly. Let's upgrade our settlement, spend a little bit of amber. Then once we upgrade the settlement, we won't have any money left to build anything, so we should be going to war soon. Now Torgavon and Widrioth, none of them are at war with the dwarves. And now you are strength rank 15. I think the AI is a little bit off its balance, really. And now we have trade. Gives us 61 per turn. Not too much, but it's like half the upkeep of a single unit. And in turn we are going to increase our trade revenues. So let's skip into the next. Crooked Moon is mobilizing, recruiting. So are we. Yeah, Mossback ready for duty. Oh, don't need you yet. Not yet, at least. How many more turns for this building to complete? 1. We're gonna get stuck soon. Nobody is dying. Wow. 18 units. We have 16. Those are at 20. Okay, so basically we're screwed. Is that what you're trying to say? And we have a rank 1 general. It doesn't say which level he is here. Nakant Skarsnik is level 1. I bet all of them are still just level 1. And we will have an upgraded settlement and no money to put in new buildings. Now, of course, Karaknorn is leaving its settlement empty. Who would have thought? I'm gonna wait one more turn and see what they do. The Crooked Moon. Let's see if they are actually at war with Clan Grindsagaz, which is the nice. They are at war with Crooked Moon. It's surprising, really. This is actually the first time that I play with this strengthened artificial intelligence mod on. So I have no experience with what it does to the battles, because it says that the campaign and battles should all be tougher, and I have no way to verify that. This is all going to cost us. This is just growth and trade, casualty replenishment. This could be our next building, and then one of these. Actually, I like these two more than this, but it's just cheaper to build. Public order also nice. I want these two actually. So let's just wait a little bit till we can build the craftsman's tree. We're not recruiting. We are recruiting. Screw the buildings. What can we pay for? Just 1 unit. More dryads. Did we already try and establish trade? I guess we did, I don't know, I don't recall. Anyway, next turn, turn 9. Now, fight a little bit, do some fighting, but no, they won't. Crooked Moon has a settlement down south, I believe. Does it? Do they? Broken Nose destroyed, mission issued. I'm not gonna raid them because I eventually want to make peace with them. Things are becoming interesting here. I have cash for 1 more unit. Once we do, we are in the negative. And we will have the same number of units. No. Huh. What to do? What to do? I'm just gonna recruit 1 more. We had it this way anyway, so Draika is gonna also join up the next turn. We're gonna have plus 10% movement range on Durthu, and we should simply jump in and duke it out. But that's all for the next episode, because this first one has been going on for far too long already. It's time to do some fighting. I hope you'll join me for those first battles in our next episode. Please feel free to like, share, subscribe, and also comment down below. Check out my other playlists. I have a bunch of Third Age Total War Divide and Conquer gameplay series, Let's Play series in Dol Amroth, Rohan and Linden. I've been doing some Arena, so if you'd like to follow my adventures there, see how I rank up my cavalry under Arminius, then you're welcome to do so. Also feel free to join me in my Discord, and I hope to talk to you all guys again soon.